This is going to be a year like no other. This is the year where everything changes and everything comes to an end. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. In this video today, we're going to talk about my predictions for 2025. World predictions for what's going to be happening in the world, as well as personal predictions for you on a personal level using your personal year number in numerology. So that part is going to be at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned for that because it's basically like a personal reading for you, okay? But let's talk about what's going to be happening around the world first, because this is going to be a year like no other. This is the year where everything changes and everything comes to an end. There's no going back after this year. Now, why exactly do I say that? Because this is a universal 9 year in numerology, okay? And so 9 is the last number, and when we get to number 9, we've come to the end of the road. And we can no longer continue with the old way and the old paradigm. And so you will see a falling away of the old world and the old paradigm like never before this year in 2025. Everything falls away and we are entering a brand new world and a new beginning and a completely brand new cycle starting in 2025. Okay, and 2025, if you add all the numbers together, you get a 9, right? If you add the numbers straight across, it's a 9, but it's specifically a 45-9. And 4 in numerology is the number of building and rebuilding, okay? It's the number of structure. If you look at any structure like a building or a table, they all have 4 sides. 5 is the number of change, right? 5 is the number of movement, it's the number of transition, and it is the number of change. So when you have a building and a change energy coming together, you get the most transformative type of number 9. Which is the number of endings and graduation, right? It's not just the number of endings and graduation, it's the number of transcendence, right? You are literally transcending from one state of being into another state of being, right? And we see this when people pass away. They literally change forms, right? They go from the physical form into the spiritual or energy form, right? So that's what's happening this year. It's a huge transcendence and it's a shedding of the old for us personally, as well as around the world, right? Things coming to an end and us transitioning into a completely different state of being. And like never before, because of it being a 45-9, we have had other 9 years before, but this one is a 45-9 and it's happening in the age of Aquarius now. So the old world, everything that we know, that's coming to an end in 2025. And you will really start to see this new world and the new paradigm, a new shift into a completely different world that we are transitioning into. You will really start to see that shift in 2025 like never before, okay? So get ready, because this will be a year like no other. This will be the year where you look back and you say, that's when it all came to an end. So what exactly does that mean? The first thing is that there's a lot of truths that are going to be revealed in 2025, okay? And I talk about this in another one of my videos. So I'll link that video below in the description box. But a lot of truths are going to be revealed, okay? So that we can start to leave the old world behind and transition into this new state of being. 9 is the number of evolution. When you get to the last number, you want to evolve. You want to evolve to the next cycle, to the next stage. So there's going to be a lot of evolution happening this year. And so truths are going to be revealed, okay? First of all, there's going to be disclosure this year. Yes, that means extraterrestrials, other life around the universe, starting to come out in 2025, and we'll see it happening in 2026 as well. But we'll see it starting to come out. And not just that there is life on other planets, because a lot of us already know this, right? But you're going to see confirmation of that in 2025 by big government institutions around the world will be confirming this. But not just that, many people will learn the names of some of these beings and what star systems they come from. This is going to start to be revealed to people, okay? People are going to learn more about the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and the Sirians, as well as other star systems, and you will start to see confirmation of this by government institutions. Not only that, but the truth of humanity, where humans really come from, that's going to start to be revealed in 2025, okay? Not all of it will be revealed in 2025, but starting in 2025 and going forward, we're going to learn the truth of where we really come from. Were we seeded by other beings around the universe? Did they create us? Did they have a hand in our creation? We're going to start to learn the truth about the origins of humanity in 2025. Because this is a year of evolution, there's going to be a lot of awakening. A lot of people that are not already on the path to awakening are going to start awakening in 2025. We're going to see huge expansion of consciousness and huge expansion of your psychic abilities. All of your clairs are going to start to open up more. This is, of course, different for everybody because everybody has their own timing for this. But you will see a huge expansion of psychic abilities and your clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, not only for the people watching, but for people that are not on the path, right? They're going to start to awaken and waken up to some of the higher dimensional knowledge out there, and some of their clairs will open up as well, and they're not going to know what to do with it. They're going to think they're going crazy, right? Because they're not on the path like you are already on the path, right? So you're going to see a lot of people waking up because everybody already has these skills. It's just in the new world that we are shifting into, they will actually become developed for many people. And that includes telepathy as well, right? Being able to communicate with people just through thought and not having to send the text message, but you're sending it through thought. That's going to be big. And your empathetic skills too, your empath skills, being able to read people's energy and know right away what they're feeling, right? And what they're thinking. All of that is something we are shifting into the new world. You're going to see the beginnings of that in 2025, and then even more as we go forward. This is also corruption within governments around the world and corruption with large corporations, okay? Everything has become extremely corrupt around the world, right? Everything has become extremely corrupt, not just in the US, but around the world. And we're going to start to see a lot of that corruption being exposed in 2025. And for example, like in the US, who killed JFK? Who killed RFK? Who killed MLK? Was the US government involved in these? All of that's going to come to light, and people are going to learn the truth of these things. And I predicted that in another one of my videos, which I will link below in the description box. But we're going to learn the truth about these things because it all has to come to the surface in order for us to move into this new paradigm. When you're sick, you basically have to vomit, right? You have to purge what is making you sick out. Get it out of your system in order to heal. And we cannot move into this new world, this new paradigm that we're shifting into, unless we get rid of those things that are making us sick, right? So it's all going to come to the surface in 2025. And this is going to be a year of healing. Okay, I talk about that in my other video, that 2025 is a year of massive healing around the world. And in the US, there's a lot of chemicals in our food and in our water and in the environment that are making us sick. And that's going to start to come to an end in 2025 with some of the corruption from places like Big Pharma being exposed and coming to light, right? So we're going to start to put an end to it. The corruption, how everything has become so corrupt. And it's going to start to come to an end in 2025. And that includes the mainstream media, right? The mainstream media that has been covering up a lot of this corruption in the government as well as in large corporations. If you watch any mainstream media network, you see an advertisement for Big Pharma, right? Sponsored by Big Pharma. So the mainstream media has become extremely corrupt as well. And I predicted in my video for 2024 that we would start to see the dying of the mainstream media going bankrupt in 2024, right? We're going to see a continuation of that in 2025, where people are not paying attention to the mainstream media anymore, and they are getting their information from the podcasters and YouTubers, citizen journalism, right? And there's going to be a continuation of the death of the mainstream media in 2025. In 2024, we saw the death of celebrity culture, right? We saw the fall of the demigods, right? People that are put on a pedestal just because they're famous, and they have all these special privileges as a result. And we saw the fall of that in 2024, right? And I predicted this would happen. I predicted that because Earth has been ruled by demigods for thousands of years, that you would start to see a collapse of that in 2024. And we're going to see a continuation of that in 2025. Celebrity culture is really going to come to an end in 2025. It started in 2024, but you will really see the end of it in 2025. You will see a fall and a death of celebrity culture, in addition to mainstream media and large corporations and corrupt governments. So this is going to be a year of many endings. A lot of things are going to come to an end in 2025 with this 9 energy. You're going to see a lot of people changing their lives completely, having lifestyle changes. You'll see a lot of people leaving relationships, getting divorced. A lot of celebrity couples you'll see getting divorced. Meghan and Harry. And I predicted that many years ago in another video of mine. But a lot of people are going to leave relationships or leave jobs or leave their careers completely and realize that it is not in alignment with who they really are. It is not authentic to who they really are and their true purpose. So you're going to see huge lifestyle changes and transitions for people all over the world. Because this year is all about authenticity, right? You becoming the most authentic version of yourself. And if what you are doing is not authentic to who you really are, there will be an ending of that. You will see a dying of that old version of you so that you can transition into this more authentic version of you that you were meant to be, right? But there has to be a shedding of the old and a removal of what isn't working first, right? So this is the graduation year. And so it's not just a year of a lot of endings, it's going to be a year of a lot of beginnings too. A lot of things beginning. And we see things starting this year. 9 is a birth number. It's the number of conception, right? It takes 9 months to birth a child, right? So we could see something being born this year. Something unique, something different that has never been created. Ever, right? That we have never seen before. And we see it being birthed and born this year in 2025. So there's going to be a lot of new beginnings. You might even see a lot of people having children this year, right? And giving birth as a result of that energy. But this could be the year where a lot of things come back from the past. Things that you thought you had finished, right? But there really wasn't any finish or ending to them. Those things come back around. So this could be people coming back from your past or things that happened to you, like now it's a situation all over again. When you're about to graduate, you have to take a test, right? And on that test, things will come up on the test where you're like, oh yeah, I remember learning that. So the test will bring up things from the past that need to be concluded, that come up again to be looked at for you. Before you can move on, right? Before you can graduate and transition into this new phase that we are moving into. And so what the difference now is that now it finally gets concluded, right? Now finally there's an ending to it. Now this can also include some events and conflicts that have happened around the world over the past 9 years. Now they come up again for the world to deal with it one last time and kind of put an end to it this time. Now 9 is a very fiery energy, right? It's ruled by the planet Mars. And so because of that, 9 is similar to Aries and Scorpio, which are both ruled by Mars. And it's also similar to Sagittarius. So if you take those 3 and you kind of combine them together, you get number 9. And Aries and Sagittarius are both fire signs. And so because of this, we could see massive fires in 2025. Massive fires like never before. This is in places around the world that you would expect to have massive fires, as well as places that you would never have expected. Okay, we're going to see massive fires and drought too. Huge drought as well. But the massive fires, especially in September, okay, because that's a 9 month. So we have double 9 energy in September. So you will also see issues with water too. Okay, we're seeing issues with fire and water. And so that means major flooding potentially. Okay, because Scorpio is a water sign. So we could see anything that causes massive flooding, such as huge hurricanes. That could happen throughout the year as well, but especially in the month of October for the flooding, okay? So it's a little bit of both, fire and water this year, and where you have fire and water come together, right? Where do you see fire and water come together? With volcanoes, right? The lava spilling into the ocean, and you see these two elements coming together. And when they come together, you see new land being formed. New earth is being formed, right? So this means you could potentially see some volcanoes erupting. Dormant volcanoes, maybe, that people thought were dormant this whole time, and suddenly they are erupting out of nowhere, okay? So get ready. That's a potentiality, okay? Volcanic eruptions in 2025. And 9 is a very volcanic type of energy. I kind of see it as being like a volcano, right? It's very passionate, very fiery. Speaking of 9 being a very fiery, passionate energy, right? Because it is ruled by the planet Mars. And as I have mentioned before in other videos, Mars is the planet of war. So I have predicted in other videos that there is the potential for war in 2025 because of this, right? When you have a very passionate energy, you have the spectrum of passion. On one end of passion, you have love, and on the other end of passion, you have hate. Hate usually leads to war. So there is the potential for that, but I want to make this very clear. There are 2 timelines that are splitting off right now, okay? There are 2 timelines that are diverging in 2 different directions. All of those things, such as war, and some of these more negative things that we see happening with the environment, those are all on the lower timeline. And you do not have to be on that timeline, okay? So if these things potentially happen, remember not to give your attention to it, because that feeds the lower timeline. And to just stay in love, keep your vibration high, and to stay in the feeling of love and non-judgment, that will help you to stay on the higher timeline as you observe some of these things going on. And we're talking war all over the world, okay? Even potentially World War III. And that also includes terrorist attacks too. I was being shown potentially terrorist attacks, especially within the United States in 2025. All of those things are on the lower timeline. Now, if you see those things happening in your reality, that doesn't mean that you are on the lower timeline. Okay, what it means is for you to not give your attention to those things, to stay in the vibration of love and non-judgment, and of course send positive energy out to the people that need it, right? Send prayers and positive energy out to the people that need it, but try not to watch those events and pay attention to that stuff. And then that timeline will fade away, and you will not be a part of it. You will be diverging on to the higher timeline, where those things are not part of the reality, right? They've come to an end in 2025. And that is how you diverge onto the higher timeline that doesn't have as many negative events. Now, people will tell you, keep your vibration high, right? Keep your vibration high and, all that stuff. You've heard it before, right? But the easiest way to stay onto the positive timeline with these 2 diverging timelines is to be in the vibration of love. Send love out as much as you can in 2025, okay? And non-judgment. And that is the easiest way to stay on the higher timeline. That lower timeline will eventually fade away anyways, because it cannot stay in the vibration of new earth. This new world that we are shifting into as of 2025 and beyond, those things are not in the frequency and the vibration of that new world, and so they cannot exist in that new world. And so all of those things will eventually fade away. And that lower timeline is going to come to an end. And I do think that some of those more negative events on that negative timeline will be coming up for the purpose of them to be removed, so that this great healing and transition that's taking place in 2025 can happen on the planet. Speaking of healing, we might see great breakthroughs in medicine this year, such as a cure for a type of cancer that's really common that a lot of people get. The cure already exists. It's already out there. It's just that people are not aware of it. It hasn't been shared with the masses. Now it gets exposed and it becomes something that everybody can have. We're going to see a continuation of great breakthroughs in technology, especially in space exploration. Okay, when you get to 9, like I said, it's the last number. 1 is the number of the self. 9 is the number of the collective, everyone. So it represents the universe, right? So we could be expanding our knowledge of the universe greatly in 2025. Our ability to explore the universe and our knowledge of things that we had no idea about. We learn about these things in 2025. So there could be great advancements in space exploration and knowledge, as well as huge advancements in other forms of technology. AI is going to continue to grow in 2025, and it will get to the point where people will have a hard time distinguishing between what is real and what is fake, right? What is real and what is generated by AI. The lines become more blurry, and people will have to learn how to use their judgment and their discernment to be able to tell what is real versus what is fake, because it's not going to be so easy anymore, right? AI is going to continue to grow. And we're also going to see a continuation of things being automized, okay? More robots in places that, right now you're seeing them mostly in cities, right? But you might show up at your favorite restaurant and suddenly you're being served by a robot instead of a human. A lot of human jobs coming to an end, right? Because of automation, because of robots taking people's jobs away from them, or other forms of technology, such as a kiosk. You might show up to McDonald's and suddenly now there's a kiosk there instead of a person waiting on you. But not to worry about this, because like I said, this is the year of authenticity and us becoming more authentic to who we really are and following our true purpose and having evolution. So those people who will lose their jobs because of AI and automation, really they were not meant to be at those jobs to begin with, right? And they will end up on a more authentic path and following their true purpose in life as a result. So we need to think of it as in a more positive way. Another thing too is a lot of things will get cheaper too. Okay, there's a lot of services and goods that will become cheaper because of automation. Some things will get cheaper because of this, but we will continue to see inflation at least at the beginning of 2025, right? As I had predicted in 2024 that inflation would get even worse, and it did. Not only in the US, but around the world, it got pretty bad. But that will continue into 2025 for the first half. And then we see inflation starting to come down a little bit towards the end of 2025. But make no mistake, this could be a very volatile year for the economy because of this being a volatile energy, right? So because of that, you could see a continuation of some volatility within the economies around the world, such as with the housing market, okay? At the end of 2024 in the US, okay, this is filmed on the last day of December, we are already seeing a huge crash starting to happen within the housing market in the US. And we could see a continuation of this volatility in the housing market going into 2025. And volatility possibly in other parts of the economy as well, at least in the first half of 2025. Okay, towards the end of 2025, the volatility comes to an end. In December in China, their economy is completely crashing. Horrible economic collapse is happening in China right now. And we'll see a continuation of that in China in 2025. We might see a continuation of more volatility in other countries around the world too in 2025. Now, because this is such an evolved number, right? It is the number of evolution, and so many people are going to be awakening to the reality, right? The reality of our reality, right? Which is that this is all really just a matrix. It's a simulation. And a lot of people are going to become aware of that. And like I said, their clairs are going to start to open, and they're going to start to have more psychic abilities. This means there will be a huge boom in the spiritual arts, right? So we see the death of celebrities, right? Celebrity culture coming to an end, but you see the rise of podcasters and citizen journalists and spiritual influencers, people that are really trying to bring the spiritual knowledge to to the masses. We think of it as being spirituality, but the truth is it's just knowledge. It's higher dimensional knowledge that a lot of people are not aware of. And as more people become aware of this knowledge and it becomes more mainstream, you will see that now these spiritual arts are being taken more seriously. All of those spiritual practitioners will start to be taken more seriously in 2025. You'll start to see places like Netflix showing this stuff, and people will be watching it. And if you have a spiritually based practice, you will see a huge increase in your practice and a huge boom. You'll see more people trying to get into these fields too. Now suddenly it's being more accepted and more people want to learn about this. Some of them will be changing careers, like I said, and the careers that they will be changing into will be more spiritually based careers because they learn that this is more in alignment with their energy. And people wanting to learn how to do this for themselves, because that's going to be big in the future, is people learning how to heal themselves. We have been giving our power elsewhere. For thousands of years, we have been giving our power to other people. This is coming to an end in 2025. We are learning how to be our own healers, our own teachers, and to do these things for ourselves instead of giving the authority to your doctor or some other person that you see as an authority figure. People will learn how to follow their own intuition and read their own energy, and they will learn how to heal themselves with the guidance and the knowledge of other people, of course. But they will become the ones in control. And that is going to be big in the future. Giving our power away to people in power and the elites, that's coming to an end in 2025. And so it might seem like a very scary year for some people, because with transition and change and transcendence, it can be scary because you see the old falling away, right? And the shedding of what was. And all this new stuff is starting to pop up. And there's a volatility to this year and an unpredictability as well, right? You know, not everyone is going to be able to predict what's going to happen in 2025. There's going to be things that are completely unexpected that nobody would have been able to predict, and they're going to happen this year. And it's just things that we couldn't have foreseen, because that is the energy of the 9. It's very unpredictable and it can be very volatile. But this is all happening for a reason. And you will see, like I said at the beginning, you will see the biggest shift towards New Earth and this new paradigm that we are entering into, where the old way of being falls away, right? We are seeing the biggest shift ever before in 2025. So this is going to be a huge year. It's going to be a beautiful year. It's going to feel like a lot of pressure for a lot of people, but it is going to lead to something very, very beautiful that we have never seen before. So now that we have talked about the world predictions for 2025, let's talk about what's happening for you on a personal level. And we're going to do that by calculating your personal year number. And it's really easy. All you need is the month and the day that you were born on, okay? So you're going to take the month and the day you were born on, and you're going to add them together to the universal year number. Like for example, me, I was born on June 17th. June is a sixth month of the year. 17 reduces to an 8. So then I'm going to take 6 plus 8, and I'm going to add it to the universal year number 9. 6 plus 8 plus 9. It's going to give me 23. And I'm going to reduce that by adding those two numbers together to get a final single digit. Okay, so 2 plus 3 equals 5. My personal year number for 2025 is a 5. I am having a 5 personal year number, but what about you? You're going to take the 3 numbers and you're going to add them together until you get a single digit. Unless you get an 11, 22, or 33, those are master numbers and you don't reduce them because you're having a master number personal year. So find out what your personal year number is, and then you're going to check the timestamps below in the description box and skip to the rest of the video so that way you don't have to watch the whole thing. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 1 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 1 will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits. And they will all be in a different pinnacle as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 1. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a personal 1 year, that means that you are starting out at the beginning of your pinnacle. So we are all currently in a pinnacle. You will go through a cycle in your pinnacle. You'll go through all of the numbers 1 through 9. Basically, if you were in a 1 personal year, you're at the very beginning of your pinnacle. If you don't know what your pinnacle is, check out my video on how to calculate that. I'll put a link to it below in the description box. It's very important to know what your pinnacle is because your pinnacle determines basically what the energy is going to be like for you for the next 9 years. So if you're having a personal 1 year, you're going to see a lot of change in the area of new beginnings. So you're going to have a lot of new beginnings during this year, and these new beginnings could be in all areas. So it could be in the area of career, family, love, relationships, friendships, it could be in anything. And you will especially be having a lot of new beginnings in whatever number your pinnacle is in. So find out what number your pinnacle is because you're going to have a lot of new beginnings, especially in that number. But you will generally have a lot of new beginnings in everything during a 1 year. You're going to have a lot of energy this year. The universe is going to basically pump you up and pump you full of energy. You will have more energy during a 1 personal year than most of the other numbers. And that's because the universe wants you to start new things. It really wants you to take the initiative and to start things, to initiate things, to get things going. And the universe is going to support you in this. Whatever you start during your 1 personal year, usually you will continue that for the next 9 years. It will be something that you will be focusing on for the rest of the years in your pinnacle. So, if you've been wanting to do something, if there's something that's been on your mind that you've been really wanting to start, this is going to be the year to do that. You will be supported by the universe. You will be encouraged by the universe to do that, to get that started, to get that going, to get it off the ground. The universe will support you. It will throw things in your path that will help you to do that. And you will definitely have the energy to do it during this year. So try to start as many new projects and get as many new things going as you have been thinking about, anything that you've been desiring, anything that you've been wanting to try to do. There's something that you feel like is missing in your life. Try to get that started. Try to initiate that this year, and you will definitely be supported by the universe. Now, the focus is going to be more on you this year, and that's okay. There will be other years where you can focus on other people and taking care of other people, but in this year, you need to take care of yourself, and your individual needs will come first this year, and that's okay. The main thing to keep in mind here is to be ready for major changes. You're starting out a brand new pinnacle. Everything you do now will affect your future for the next 9 years. So do not hold back the inner force of creation that is within you. Be direct during this time and be very bold. You'll have more confidence and determination this year in comparison, especially to last year, which was a time of letting go and endings, right? So this year is going to represent a time of birth, rebirth. It's going to be a time to take charge and to apply yourself to your dreams. This is also a good time to make personal changes that you have long been wanting to make, to start, like I said, new beginnings, right? Start a new diet, start a new exercise program, a new way of studying, a new way of being, a new job, a new career. Sometimes there can be some emotional upheaval and turmoil that happens during a personal 1 year, especially in the beginning of the year. So you will be challenged this year for sure. And it does sometimes take a little bit of some time to get the ball rolling, right? So there are many changes that you must make, and there's a lot of work to be done. So be open-minded, be organized, be focused, and try to avoid distractions and procrastination. Sometimes that can happen during a personal 1 year. You are basically at a crossroads, and you will need the courage and the clear head to stay on the right track. So this can be a great year for tons of new opportunities. As I said, lots of new beginnings. You're going to have a great year this year. Thank you so much for listening, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 2 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 2 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 2. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 2 personal year, then you're personally going to be seeing a lot of change in the area of relationships. So 2 is the number of cooperation, working with other people, teamwork, being a team player. You will definitely advance further during this year if you work with other people. Remember that. Going about things by yourself, trying to do things alone during a 2 personal year, you will not get very far if you do that. The universe will support you the more you try to work with other people. This is going to be a year of relationships. So this will be a great year for starting new relationships, for improving current relationships. The universe will support you basically in terms of whatever energy you put out into relationships. So if you've been looking to get into a new relationship, I see this happen a lot where people enter a 2 personal year and suddenly, if they've been single for a long time, they are suddenly in a relationship, and it's a balanced, happy, committed relationship. Because they put that energy out there during that 2 personal year, and the universe matched them and supported them. So this is going to be a great time for that. If you are currently in a relationship, the universe will support you to help make your relationship more balanced, more harmonious, right? Because 2 is a number of harmony. It's a number of peace. So the universe will support you to help make your relationship more peaceful. If that's something that you want to work on this year, you're going to need tact, cooperation, and patience to keep yourself moving forward this year. There could be confrontations with other people that require you to become gentle in your approach with them. So watch out for that. Sometimes it does happen. Being forceful or uncooperative with others will definitely work against you this year. So try to compromise as much as possible. Also, your intuition will be heightened during this year. You will be highly intuitive. You will be picking up on all kinds of information around you. You will be very sensitive to all of the energies around you during a 2 personal year. So definitely find ways to protect your energy a little bit more during a 2 personal year. To remember to not take things so personally, and to watch out for being overly sensitive in regards to what other people might tell you or what other people might say to you. You may wonder what happened to all of the drive and the ambition that you felt last year. But just know that this year is going to be different. It's going to require something else from you. A delicate sense of balance and a willingness to go around obstacles without losing sight of your goals and your dreams and what you are trying to achieve. You might experience some depression and frustration this year, and sometimes it can be a struggle because it's going to be a lot slower paced than last year. So just knowing that will definitely help with this if that does happen. If you find ways to protect your energy, you will definitely be able to make the most of this 2 personal year, and you will definitely be able to feel more of the positive energies of this year. You need to be wise in all of your relationships this year. You're very capable of establishing close and even lifelong relationships now. Because sensitivity and openness are heightened, many people find their soulmate and even sometimes a twin flame during a 2 personal year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. You're going to have a great year if you're having a 2 personal year, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 3 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a 3 personal year will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in a different pinnacle number. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 3. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a 3 personal year, the first thing you need to know is that all forms of communication will be supported by the universe this year. So if there's somebody that you've been wanting to talk to, if there's somebody that you've been wanting to communicate to, express something to, there's somebody that you've been wanting to express your feelings to, or if there's somebody that you've been wanting to talk to for a while but you haven't gotten around to do that, then if you do that this year, you will be supported by the universe, because all forms of communication are supported during your 3 personal year. All forms of self-expression will be supported by the universe this year. So if you have been wanting to express yourself in some sort of way, maybe you've been wanting to make a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel, or you've been wanting to create a website, or something where you're more in the public eye, something where you've been wanting to express yourself more, then this will be the year to do it, because you will be encouraged by the universe to do that and you will be supported by the universe. Whatever effort you put into self-expression will be supported this year, and you will go far if you try to do it during a 3 personal year. Also, any creative projects that you've had on your mind, any forms of creativity, music, art, writing, especially in the areas of performing arts, those are also going to be supported during a 3 personal year. So the more you put yourself out during a 3 personal year, the more you will be supported by the universe, and you will have all kinds of opportunities come your way and will be thrown at you during a 3 personal year. I find that during 3 personal years, people just have so many opportunities that just come their way because they're a little bit more out and about, and they're putting themselves out there more, they're expressing themselves more. They have this need to do that during a 3 personal year, and all kinds of opportunities just come your way during a 3 personal year. So take advantage of those opportunities. This is going to be a great year for creating anything, and that includes children and families too. So sometimes people get pregnant during a 3 year because the universe is supporting you in terms of all forms of personal creation. Typically, people have a lot of energy during a 3 personal year, and they're usually very happy during their 3 year. 3 is a very joyful, happy number, so this can be a very positive, happy year for you. It's also a great time to make new friends. So if you've been wanting to meet new people, then the universe will support you in your efforts to do that this year. And that can be in all areas. So, not just meeting people in person, but if you were to meet new friends over the internet, over Facebook groups and that kind of thing, then you will definitely be supported by the universe during a 3 personal year if you wanted to do that. All forms of communication are going to be supported during a 3 personal year. So that includes the internet, that includes social media. So try to use all of those modalities to basically do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. And if you try to use those forms of communication to do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, you will be supported by the universe during a 3 personal year. Now you want to make sure to protect your energy, not try to scatter yourself in too many places. Often during a 3 personal year, people will try to do multiple projects. They're not as focused as they had been in other years. So don't spread yourself too thin during a 3 year. You might feel the need to do that this year. You might feel the need to take on multiple projects and to do multiple things. Take on as many things as you possibly can. You will be given more energy during this year. But remember that there's only so much that you can do, and you don't want to spread yourself too thin during a 3 year. And if you do that and find ways to focus on all of the good things that are happening for you during your 3 personal year, then you will stay on the positive side of this number and you will have a great year this year. And a 3 year usually is a more lighthearted, optimistic, fun, entertaining type of energy as compared to the previous year. And this is usually a pleasant time in which friendships are enjoyed and love is easily shared. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And I'll see you in my next video. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 4 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 4 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in different pinnacles as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal number 4 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 4 personal year, then you can expect to have a little bit more stability in your life this year compared to other years. 4 is a very stable number, and you're going to be challenged to kind of bring in a little bit more stability. And so relationships could become more stable, things at work could become more stable, all areas of your life could become more stable. You're going to be encouraged by the universe to make that happen, and usually it does. A 4 year is not always the easiest year. You will definitely be challenged to put in a lot of work, to put in a lot of effort. 4, as I always say, is the most hardest working number out of all of the numbers, and so usually during a 4 year, you do have to put in a lot of work. You do have to focus your energy. And usually the universe will throw something in your path to kind of help you to focus your energy on that one thing. And so you will be working hard this year, but you will also be more successful this year, because usually with that hard work, there comes a lot of success also. So you're more likely to put in the work, but you're also more likely to be successful too as a result of the work that you put into your 4 year. But what I find is that during a 4 year, people have the ability to focus more than in any other number. There's something about this number that when you enter a 4 personal year, you are able to focus so much. And if you found that in other numbers you haven't been able to focus on something, you haven't been able to focus your energy, you felt a little bit more lazy during some of the other years, you will not be feeling like that this year. You know, you're challenged to work harder, but there's something within you that makes you want to do that. You're not feeling good unless you do that. And you're given all this energy by the universe to make it happen. And you're able to focus your mind so much during a 4 year that take advantage of this year. Whatever you put your hard work and your effort into this year, you will see so much reward. You will see rewards multiplied, and you will see so much come out of it in years to come. This is the year that you have to do that though. This is the year that you have to put in that work so that you can see all of those rewards and all of that success come. And it does come, you know, it doesn't always come during the 4 year, but it does come soon afterwards. And so people often feel like they're being challenged during a 4 year, but yes, you're being challenged, but you're being challenged to be the very best that you can be. And the universe really wants to to get that out of you this year. It wants to turn you into the best version of yourself. And your life usually becomes so much better because of a 4-year. Your life usually becomes more stable. You have more stability in your career, your relationships, in all areas. So make sure to not overdo it during a 4-year. Sometimes people can become workaholics. Sometimes they can just be so focused on, the goal that they have. Usually during a 4-year, people are so goal-oriented during a 4-year. Make sure to not overdo it, to give yourself breaks, and also to have a little bit of fun as well. And you will definitely have a great year, and you will stay on the positive side of the number 4 if you make sure to do that. There can sometimes be a feeling of limitation and frustration that comes from this year. However, it is a time of important opportunities that must be taken advantage of. It's a good time to buy real estate or to remodel your home. It is also a good time to take care of projects that have been postponed for too long. Fulfill your obligations and do not be afraid to spend some of that hard-earned money, right? Don't be afraid to spend some of it this year. Selling and trading during this year are usually quite successful endeavors if you decide to do that. This is going to be a year to lay the foundations for the future years ahead and to prepare yourself for the many changes that are going to come for you next year. And you will have a huge feeling of accomplishment and a sense of satisfaction as a result of all of the hard work and effort that you put into this 4 personal year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And I'll see you in my next video. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 5-year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will be also greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having this year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal 5-year will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in different pinnacles as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 5. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 5 personal year, then this will be a year for you to kind of take a little bit of a break. So last year you had a 4 personal year and you probably put in a lot of hard work, and a lot of things happened probably during that year that kind of challenged you a little bit because 4 is not always the easiest number, and you do have to put in a lot of work when you go through a 4 personal year. So the good news is that during this year you get to have a little bit of fun and you will definitely have more fun this year. So things will start to get a little less serious. Things will loosen up a little bit. You will be traveling a little bit more. You will be having a desire to do that. And you will be having a desire to just experience life a little bit more. So 5 is all about experiencing the 5 senses. That's right, we have 5 senses, and that's what the number 5 is all about. It's experiencing those senses and experiencing the world around you. So you will be doing that a lot more this year, and you will be more relaxed. You will be more outgoing. This could be a very exciting year for you. So you could have a lot more excitement. You did a lot of hard work last year. You went through a lot of stuff, and so now it's time to have fun and have a little bit of excitement. So you could be meeting new people. If you're single, you could definitely be dating a lot of people this year, and you could have a lot of opportunities to do that. You could meet somebody new and interesting, and you could date them this whole entire year, and then eventually that will lead into a commitment when you get into your 6th personal year. But it is definitely common to meet somebody new and to start something new during a 5-year. 5 is also a very romantic, playful number. Now, if you're already in a relationship, then you could be having a lot of fun with your partner this year, and you could definitely have a lot of romance in your relationship. The relationship could become more fun, it could become more playful, and so a lot of good things in terms of, just being around other people during a 5-year. And 5 is a very friendly, outgoing number. You could definitely meet a lot of new friends this year. You could have a lot of unexpected things happen. A lot of surprises can always happen during a 5 personal year. 5 is often the number of surprise. Now, the most common thing that I notice happen when people enter a 5 personal year is that change happens. In some area of their life, there is some sort of change. If you specifically want to find out what area might be changing based on your numbers, you can take a look at your pinnacles. Basically, whatever pinnacle you are in, that could determine what the area of your life will be where change will come. But yeah, you're definitely going to have a lot of change happen this year. A lot of people go through a transition or a transformation during their 5-year. I moved during my 5-year, so moving is very common. That happens a lot. But you will have some change in your life. You will have transformation. There's going to be a lot of movement during this year. And this change, of course, will always be for the better. It will always be to improve your life. So maybe you've been needing to move, but you haven't been able to do that. Or maybe you've been needing to change jobs, or you've been needing to change, something in your relationship, or you've been needing to change relationships completely, or you've been needing to change something about the way you live your life. And that often happens during a 5-year, but the universe is supporting you to make that happen, and the universe wants you to do that during a 5-year. And so much good will come out of it. You will see that in years to come. Whatever it is that changes in your life, you will definitely see a lot of benefit in the future from this change. And you're going to be challenged to make that happen, but it will happen for you during this year. So many surprises could come your way this year. Be open and ready to embrace new opportunities, and do not be overly careful this year, okay? This is a year in which a major step forward can take place if you are willing to take some calculated risks and do a little gambling, right? So you might be faced with making choices that require you to take fast action without having all of the knowledge and knowing everything, but you just have to get in on it, and you have to be fast and quick, and your reactions will be faster and quicker this year. Sometimes people can be overindulgent during a 5-year, eating too much food, drinking too much alcohol, doing other things in over excess that are not good for you. So watch out for that, be careful, and definitely you will have some unexpected adventures and a lot of lucky breaks this year. So you're going to have a great year this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 6 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 6 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 6 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 6 personal year, you can expect to be taking on more responsibility this year. And this can be in any area. It can be in regards to family, your home, your job. It usually is in regards to your family and helping other people or taking care of other people. So it's very common for people to get engaged and to get married during a 6 year. And if not that, then it's very common for people to get in committed relationships during a 6 year. People will often start families, they'll have children. Very common for people to have children during a 6 personal year, and children become the focus. So if you have children, you will be spending more time with your kids, more quality time. You'll be spending a lot more time with your family overall. You might be more invested in your community in some sort of way. You might get more involved in your community during a 6 year. Basically, the focus isn't on you anymore. The focus is on other people and taking care of other people's needs. And that can also include your house too, because 6 is a very domestic number. So often people will have things come up with their house that need to be taken care of during a 6 year. If you've been wanting to buy a house, you could definitely do that during a 6 year. You know, home improvement projects is very common during a 6 year. 6 is the number of beauty. You could be doing a lot of things to help to make your life more beautiful during a 6 year, and the universe will support you in this. The universe will support that energy. It wants to make your life more beautiful during a 6 year, and it wants to support you in becoming more responsible during a 6 year. So you will have challenges thrown at you to kind of help with this, to kind of make you more responsible in some areas. So if there has been any areas of your life that have been lacking in responsibility, then you could become more responsible in those areas during a 6 year. But this can be a year of great progress and financial advancement also. Major career or business opportunities often present themselves, and it is a challenging year in which personal growth is joined with new responsibilities and challenges, but you will meet those challenges this year. But people in general typically become more responsible people, more family-oriented people during their 6th personal year, and they often experience a lot of love. So people will often tell me that they felt more love in their life during a 6th year than any of the other years. So you will be feeling the love from your family, from your friends. Sometimes problems and issues within a marriage or other significant relationships can come to the surface during a 6th year, and they need your attention. However, you will possess the understanding to deal with these issues effectively if you apply yourself with love and flexibility, which you should be able to do this year, as I had mentioned before, because you will be feeling more in the frequency and the energy of love during a 6th year. Another thing is often people from your past will pop back into your life during a 6th personal year. You'll have friends coming back from the past and you'll have reunions. You might have significant others, people that you had relationships with, that will come back into your life during the 6th personal year. Any acts of helpfulness and any acts of service to other people that you perform during a 6th year, you will always get that back multiple times. So try to be of service to other people, try to help out as much as you can. You're going to get that back multiple times, either this year or in years to come. Now, also remember that during a 6th personal year, you don't want to overdo it, okay? So yes, be of service to people, be helpful to other people, but don't forget to take care of yourself. Sometimes people will just neglect themselves completely during a 6th personal year. Don't do that. If you want to do things to help improve your beauty, you know, if you want to do things to take care of yourself, anything like that will be supported during a 6th personal year, because 6 is the number of beauty. So yes, take care of other people, help other people, and you'll get that back multiple times in return, but also take care of yourself. Don't forget that. And if you can remember to do that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you'll have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 7 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year 7 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacles. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 7 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 7 personal year, this could be a very spiritual year for you. 7 is a very introspective number, and It's a number that kind of makes you go within. Go within to yourself and kind of figure out where you've been and where you're going. And you could really be getting to know yourself very well this year. So often during a 7 personal year, people will take time out to think about things that they hadn't before in other years. They will be very introspective and kind of figure out, like I said, where they've been, where they're at, where they're going, what they need to improve within themselves. What is it about their life that they need to improve? And what have they been focusing their energy on that has been kind of a waste of their time? How could they improve things? How could they focus their energy so that their desires and their dreams become a reality? So you could be doing that during a 7 personal year. It's a very spiritual time for a lot of people. You could be doing shadow work and working on your shadow this year, which is a great thing to do during a 7 year. People often make a lot of big self-improvements and big changes within themselves. They really get to know themselves on a very deep level during a 7 year, especially if you're in the 2nd pinnacle of your life or in the 3rd pinnacle of your life. If you're in a 7 personal year, it could be a time where you really get to know yourself. You figure out what is it that really makes you happy? What is it that really makes you tick? What are you passionate about? This could be the year where you figure that out, where you figure out what your desires are, where you want to go in life, what's the next step? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? You could definitely figure that out during this year. Any self-improvement or self-help that you do during this year will be supported by the universe. So if you want to get a self-help book, or you want to take a course in something that will improve you and will improve your life and improve your way of being, then that will be supported by the universe. And people often do a lot of self-improvement during 7 personal years. It's a time to go within and to analyze things. You're analyzing yourself, you're analyzing the world around you. You're going to have greater intellectual abilities during this time. So if you're in school, you will definitely have a good year in school. You'll be able to focus more on your academics and all things intellectual. Often people that are in the process of a spiritual awakening, that will get heightened during a 7 year. Or if they're not in the process of a spiritual awakening, they will start to have a spiritual awakening during a 7 year. 7 is a very spiritual number. And for me, when I was in my 7 personal year, a lot of my psychic abilities started to become more developed. My clairvoyance and my claircognizance started to become more developed during my 7 year. So it's very common with people to start to develop their psychic abilities a little bit more during this time. They start to become aware of psychic abilities that they had that whole time, but they weren't really aware of. People often become more religious. If they're not spiritual, then they become more religious during a 7 year. That's also common as well. But just remember that whatever self-improvement that you do during this year, that's going to benefit you so much if you do it during this year. The universe is going to support you, and it's really just going to make your life so much easier. It's going to improve your life so much for many years to come. So it's okay to focus on yourself this year. There's nothing wrong with that. Take this time out. This is going to be a slower paced year than some of your previous years. This is not a year for social activities, and it's not a year to try to reach goals on a material level. And you will not be as concerned with doing these kinds of things this year. And that's okay. You might need a break. This will be a great time to take some time out for yourself. Get out into nature. Get out into the environment. Go to places that have natural beauty. Beaches, forests, deserts, anything like that where you're in the natural environment. That's going to be supported, and that will definitely help you out during the 7 personal year. This is not a year for social activities, and it's not a year to try to reach your goals on a material level. Improve the quality of your life. Read, contemplate, and gain personal insight. You are very important now. Reset and attend to your own health. It's during this year that you will strengthen the foundation of your life. Remember that your success in all matters rests upon the strength of your inner self and your inner being. and there will be many strange and unusual events inspiring you to take a closer look at life. An opportunity is there for you to experience the joy and beauty of life without all of the artificial and exterior involvement of the outside world messing everything up, right? But purely the growing awareness of yourself. Too much concern and desire for material rewards will turn this period of your life into a very bad experience. So have an attitude of let go and let God. If you have that attitude, then everything will be a lot better this year and you will have a very pleasant year. So if you make sure to do that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of the number this year and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about everything that you just heard. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. If you want to book a reading with me, I'll put that information below in the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 8 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well, and that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal 8 year will have the same exact year because those people will be having different transits, and they will be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 8 year. Now, with that being said, so if you are having an 8 personal year, then congratulations to you. You made it to number 8. Yay. So basically, whatever it is that you have been working towards for the past 8 years, starting with your very first personal year, the very first year in your pinnacle, whatever that is that you've been working on for the past 8 years or that you've been struggling with, usually when you get to an 8 year, you will have a breakthrough. Yay! This is good news, okay? And I see this all the time. It even happened with myself. You have a breakthrough. So you've been struggling this whole time. You've been working towards something. You've been in your 4 year, you put in the work, you put in the effort. In your 7 year last year, you did the introspection, you tried to figure yourself out. What was it that you needed to fix within yourself? And you did that during your 7 year. Now you get to your 8 year and you finally have some success. And success becomes more easy. So there's not as much of a struggle during this year. And it just comes a little bit easier. So that success comes through and it's kind of like, it's like a breakthrough. It's like, yay, I put in all this work and, I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And this breakthrough happens because you did the work. You put in all that work for the past 8 years. You did this, you made it happen. And so, your success is coming because of your efforts, and it's so well deserved. So after last year's constant involvement with yourself and very possible occasional doubts about the state of your life or your career or your business, you will find this year to be a relief. Things will finally work out for you. Long postponed checks and promotions finally come through. Like I said, you see the light at the end of the tunnel and an inner strength and confidence is breaking through. So this is going to be a good year for you. You could have a lot of success during this year. Take advantage of that. It's a great financial year. It's a great year for business. If you own a business or if you want to start a business, I started my business during my 8 personal year. And I had a lot of success with that during my 8 personal year. I struggled with it at the beginning of my 8 personal year because that's around the time that I started it. But towards the middle part of my 8 personal year, I started to have a breakthrough in my business and started to finally have some success. You could be spending a lot of money. That does happen. I spent a lot of money during my 8 personal year. I had to do that to get my business started and to get it going, but I got all of that money back, so much in return. because I did that during my 8 personal year. So whatever it is that you put out during an 8 personal year, you always get that back multiple times. And so be generous with your money, be generous with your time, be generous with things. You will always get that back multiple times if you do that during an 8 personal year. And remember that even if it seems like you're still struggling with something at the beginning of the year, that usually will clear up towards the middle part of the year or towards the end of the year. So it's kind of like the harvest time, right? So with farmers, they put in the work and they plow the fields during the springtime and in the summertime. And then when they get to the fall, they finally see a harvest. And so that's kind of the way the 8 year is. It's like harvest time for you. So this is your year of harvest, and the amount of reward that you receive will be equal to the amount of effort that you have put into the past 7 years, as well as into the beginning of your personal 8 year. So this year you will have an opportunity to involve yourself fully in work and material growth and to bring home the rewards. At the same time, a certain detachment is also necessary for you and for the experience you have, because it is not the reward that brings you happiness, remember that, but your experience of life. This is why before the rewarding 8 year comes, you have to have had the opportunity for growth during the soul-searching 7 year that you just had. So give into your ambitions and you will find yourself more clear-headed, better focused, and better able to pursue and to reach your goals this year. Your power is visible and strong, and other people will be able to see it for sure. Your mental creativity is going to be high. Your vision and intuition will guide you. So you will receive a lot of intuitive guidance during this year, especially in the areas of business and finances and achieving goals and ambitions. And that is divine guidance that's being given to you. At the same time, you are more efficient and you are more focused this year. There can be a loss, okay? Just keep that in mind. There can be a serious loss, such as a bankruptcy and failure, because the rewards are usually directly proportionate to the level of effort and motivation that you have put out during those past 7 years, as well as what you put out in the beginning of your 8 personal year. So, however, you know the effort that you have put out, and you know your motivation. So focus on this success and focus on the winning that you will achieve, and don't think about the fears and don't think about the doubts. And if you can do that, this will definitely be a very undoubtedly satisfying year with a lot of achievement and success. So just make sure to not spend all of your time on your goals and your finances. Make room for people and for other things during your 8 year. Don't be too much of a perfectionist also. Sometimes that can happen during an 8 year where you just kind of want everything to be perfect. And if you do all those things, you will definitely be on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment below if any of this resonated with you. Definitely subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information is below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 9 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 9 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 9 year. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a personal 9 year, then congratulations to you. You have made it to the end of your pinnacle cycle. Yay! So we cycle through all the numbers 1 through 9 in a pinnacle, and you have made it to the very end of your cycle in this pinnacle. So that's great. Whatever you have been working on in the past 9 years, you are going to be graduating from that this year. So that's good news. By the way, if you don't know what pinnacle you are currently in, you can check out a video that I did on how to calculate this. I'll leave a link to it below in the description box. But basically, the pinnacle kind of determines what the energy is for 9 years, and you've made it to the end. So whatever it is that you've been working on in the past 9 years, you're graduating from that this year, and you basically have done all the work in this area that you need to do. So basically what that means is that whatever it is that you've been struggling with in the past few years, that's going to be coming to an end this year. There's no more lessons to be learned. You've come to the end of the road. You've finished the cycle. You have learned everything that you need to learn in whatever area that is. You've done the work. You've been through the struggles. You've been through the challenges. You got to the end of the road. And so now it's time to move on from these struggles. It's time to graduate. And so whatever it is that you have been struggling with, you basically, when people get to their 9 personal year, it's kind of like they master that. They finally have mastered that. And so there's really no reason to continue it. It's done and you're moving on. So this is a great thing. That's the great thing about this year. So there's going to be a lot of graduations this year. You know, I don't like to look at things as endings. I like to look at them as graduations. So, you know, you did the work, you completed it, you got it done, and now you're moving on to bigger and better things. So, yes, so this could be in all kinds of areas. It could be whatever it is that your pinnacle number is, especially, so definitely find out what that is. So it might seem like a lot of things are coming to an end for you this year, but really you're just graduating from those things. So you've mastered it, and now you're moving on to something better. Now, often people will have people from their past that will pop up during a 9 year. So don't be surprised if friends from the past or people that you had relationships with in the past come back during a 9 year. That's very, very common. You know, 9 is a very retrospective number. I say this in a lot of my videos, how 9 is kind of, you know, it's the end. So it's always looking back on all of the other numbers that came before it. And, you know, even 9, the way it's positioned, it looks like it's looking back on all the other numbers. So it's very past focused. It's very retrospective. It's very common that people from your past pop up during a 9 personal year. So just get ready for that. You will also feel like you're kind of being challenged to be more helpful and more of service to other people during this year. 9 is a very service, humanitarian, humanity-focused number. So 1 is the number of the self, and 9 is the last number, so it's the number of everybody. You might feel like you're being challenged to be more of service to larger groups of people, your family. You could become more family-oriented, more family-focused. Sometimes things will pop up with families during a 9 year where you have to come in and kind of like take care of your family. But also you might feel challenged to do something on a greater platform, to maybe do something more public that a larger number of people can see. You might be challenged to take something to a higher level, to a greater level. But this will basically be a year to tie up loose ends, to finish up all unfinished business, to clean house, and to make room for new things and this new beginning that's about to start for you. On a material level, this is a good time to get rid of unnecessary weight and to give away or to sell what you do not need anymore and to pay off old debts. On a spiritual level, your attention should turn to others and their needs. And you might have a lot of questions and you might be feeling a lot of doubts this year, but to lighten this, this burden of doubts and questions that you might have, the best way to do this is by focusing your attention in another direction, away from yourself. And you will find yourself becoming more lighter and more in touch with yourself when you do this, right? So focusing the attention on other people will help take away some of the doubts that you have during this year. This is a time of contemplation, and problems can be solved and ended easily during this year. Strained relationships will become relaxed, or they might disappear altogether. And that's very common during a 9-year where relationships just completely disappear. Relationships that are no longer necessary will just be removed from your life. And all of the sources of stress within your life, whether it be from work, family, whatever, they will be better understood and dealt with this year. Be social and communicative and enjoy music and other arts because your creativity is going to be higher than usual during a 9-year. There can be some difficulties this year due to your desire to face obstacles and to overcome them. Decisions will need to be made, and your courage and strength may be severely tested at times. This is not going to be the easiest year all of the time, okay? Just keep that in mind. But you will feel relieved on the brink of the positive breakthrough at the end of this year. So in the beginning and maybe even in the middle of the year, it might not be the easiest year, but you will see this huge breakthrough at the end of the year. And it's really just preparing you for this brand new beginning and this beautiful future that awaits you next year. So you've reached the end of this pinnacle, and it's basically the end of a cycle. And many times you will feel the excitement of the new and promising era that is coming next. And this is a time when optimism will be your friend. But you will also experience the fear of letting go too, okay? So, however, the more you do let go, the more room there is to be filled during this next cycle. So, sometimes this can be a very emotional year, but be okay with letting go. The more you can do that, the easier this year will be for you. And you will be paving the way and letting in this brand new, beautiful era and new beginning that is on the horizon for you that will come at the end of this year. So just make sure to take care of yourself and take care of your sensitivity during this time. Protect your sensitivity. You could be more sensitive during a 9 personal year, so definitely protect your energy. And if you do all of those things, you will definitely have a great year and you will stay on the positive side of this number this year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information is below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 11 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal Master 11 year will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 11 year. And also be sure to check out the personal 2 number year as well, because the 2 energy will also have effect on you during a Master 11 year. So if you are having a personal Master number 11 year, then you can expect the unexpected this year. That's kind of the theme that I've noticed with people that have a Master number 11 year. Basically, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, it's really crazy if you think about it. It's really like you can really just expect the unexpected to happen. Really, the only thing that you can expect to happen is a lot of big things, because this is a Master number, and so a lot of big things happen during Master number years. So you could have a lot of big things happen in your life, things that you just could have never foreseen, things that you would have never expected. I've looked at the charts of past presidents. A lot of them won their elections during master number 11 years. I've looked at the charts of celebrities. A lot of them became famous during master number 11 years. So, you know, it's crazy. A lot of big things can happen. And a lot of this depends on what your pinnacle is, because your personal year is just one of the numbers in the 9 numbers in your pinnacle. So if you don't know what pinnacle you currently are in, you can check out a video that I did about how to calculate this number. I'll put a link to it below. But basically, a lot of big things can happen during a master number 11 personal year, because this is a master number, but also 11 is the number of bringing illumination. So something could happen in your life that brings illumination to you, that uses you as an example to bring illumination to a lot of other people. You could be used as an example to do that, to help inspire people, to just, you know, light the way, to show people the path. So that is very common during an 11 year. 11 is also a very spiritual number. It's a very mysterious number. If you look at it, it kind of looks like a doorway or a porthole into another world and another dimension, the spiritual world and the spiritual realms. And it also kind of looks like a bridge. If you tip it over on its side, it looks like a bridge that you could walk across. And the bridge representing the bridge between the two worlds, right? The bridge between our world and the spiritual world. So for this reason, a lot of times during an 11 personal year, people will start to get all this information from the spirit realms, and it will become very clear to them. They'll start to realize that they have psychic abilities. It's very common for people to start channeling and to become mediums and psychics during a personal 11 year. This is more common during an 11 pinnacle, but it can also happen during an 11 personal year. Now, 11 also is very symbolic of the twin flame connection, because if you look at the 11s, it kind of looks like two people standing next to each other, two identical people, two twins standing next to each other. So sometimes people will meet a twin flame during a personal 11 year. If they do have a twin flame, they might meet them during this year, or they might be reunited with a twin flame during this year. There can be a focus on relationships. They can meet soulmates, people that they were meant to be in long-term committed relationships. Sometimes they will meet them during a personal 11 year. So just make sure to take care of yourself during this year. Take care of your body. Do not drink a lot of caffeine. Try to reduce your alcohol intake. Try to eat a healthy diet. That will help to reduce any anxiety that you might feel during a personal 11 year. And just remember that anything that comes up that's unexpected, well, now you know that, that's kind of just the way this year is. It can be very unexpected. And if you remember to do all of that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information will be below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 22 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal Master 22 year will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 22 year. And also make sure to check out personal year number 4 as well, because some of the 4 personal year energy will affect you during a Master number 22 year. So if you're having a Master number 22 personal year, you can expect a lot of big things to happen this year. Since this is a Master number, you will be required to put in more work than usual, since 22 has the energy of the number 4. And 4, as we all know, is the number of work, and it's the hardest working number. You will be challenged to build something stable and of significance within your life and to restructure your life for the better so that there is more stability in the long run. So remember, 4 is a very stable number, and because 22 has the energy of the number 4, you will be challenged to become more stable during this year. Something might have to be destroyed in your life in order for this restructuring and this rebuilding to occur. However, after this restructuring and rebuilding of whatever it was that needed to be rebuilt in your life, after this happens, it will be a very stable time in your life. It will also be a time of attracting love, harmony, and relationships, and often people find real love during a 22 personal year because 22 has the energy of 2 number 2s, and 2, as you remember, is the number of love, companionship, commitment, and being united with another person. So try not to get too worried about things. If you see something being removed from your life, just know that something is going to be rebuilt in its place, and that will happen to make your life better. So everything is happening to help you, to make your life more stable, to bring something more stable that will last a long time for you, and to just make things better for you. So also, don't be too hard on yourself this year. People often have really high expectations of themselves during a personal 22 year. So try to go easy on yourself, and if you can lower your expectations on yourself, then your year will be a lot easier. And if you can do all of those things, then you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and definitely leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information will be below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 33 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year Master 33 will have the same exact year, because some of those people will be having different transits, and they will be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 33 year. And also make sure to check out personal year number 6, because some of the 6 personal year energy will affect you during a Master 33 year. So what can you expect during a Master 33 year? Well, this is a master number, so you can expect big things to happen, because the master numbers tend to do things in a really big way. So you can expect a lot of big things to happen, sometimes things that are unexpected and not foreseen. Master numbers are not always the easiest year, and they can be a bit more challenging than the other years, but you can achieve a lot more and often have more potential to do great big things than in the other years. This is a year of heightened creativity because of the double 3 energy, and you might find yourself creating different projects or developing more creative talents this year. This will also be a year of personal healing, where a lot of trauma from the past comes up to the surface and to your awareness to be healed. You have a great chance to heal all of this year, and you will have greater healing abilities and be able to heal others during a 33 year, since the Master 33 is the creative healer energy. You will be more connected to the divine, and your spiritual team, especially your guardian angels, will be working more closely with you. And the veil will become much thinner, as the Master 33 energy is a very angelic frequency. You might start having a more clear and direct channel to them, especially the angelic frequencies, because of this. You're being divinely guided to heal yourself and others this year, and to use whatever creative modalities you can to do that. So do this through giving people angelic guidance, counseling, teaching, and being supportive. helpful, and spreading love. Your ability to express yourself will also become greater this year, and you will start loving yourself on a much deeper level this year and sending out that energy to the world to help heal others who have endured similar trauma. And because you are in a higher frequency of love during a Master 33 year, you often will attract it during it. And this includes romantic love as well. So take advantage of this rare and blessed year that has been given to you. You will become more beautiful, and you will bring more beauty to the world this year through the healing and creative and angelic energies that are given to you. So try not to scatter your energies too thin. Focus on the healing, teaching, and counseling and helping others, and spread that love that you'll be feeling for yourself this year to the world around you. And don't be too much of a perfectionist this year, because sometimes the Master 33 energy can be a perfectionist. So try to let that go as much as you can, and let go of a need to control some of the challenges that may come up during a Master number year. And just know that your life will be so much better as a result of this year and the healing that takes place during it. And if you can do that, then you will have a great year. So let me know in the comments below what you got for your personal year number. What does that mean for you? What will happen for you in this year? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you want to book a personal reading with me so we can go more into depth into the specifics in your chart to see exactly what will happen for you during this personal year, then you can check out that information below. I'll put a link to it in the description box. And definitely check out some of the other videos that I've done on how to calculate numbers like your pinnacles and your challenges and your karmic lessons. I'll put links to them below in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with other people, and I would love to have you subscribe and to become part of the family. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I love you guys, and I'm sending you light and love, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.